This is the Daily Saints Pod with Zach and Greg.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Saints Pod. My name is Greg, and as always today joined by my good friend and wonderful co-host, Zach. Mate, how you doing? You alright?
Good morning, afternoon, evening. Yeah, not too bad, mate. I realised yesterday I made a mistake in the sense of I thought the game was Tuesday night. It's not, it's Wednesday night. I assumed that because I knew Greg was going away for 2 days, and I was like, we're back Wednesday. It's like, no, mate, that's when I'm going. So, yeah.
Right. It's all good. It's all good.
And that shows you the start to my week, mate. Is I have no idea what day it is, what time it is, what hour it is.
That is my.
So it's fine.
Yeah, I was going to say that's my resting state of being. Don't worry about it too much. Mate. If I didn't have a strictly color-coded calendar to get me through the week, I don't know how we'd cope. But there we go. But look, we've got some stuff to talk about today anyway, mate, because we saw an interesting tweet from Mike Keegan of the Press, chief sports reporter of the Daily Mail, and it was pointing out that in a discussion with the EFL, a meeting on the implementation of VAR in the EFL, our representatives were quick to point out that it is both killing football and killing passion. And good. Yeah, I think that is not an unpopular opinion, is it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I know that, I think that one of the real reasons it's a problem is it doesn't do what it was designed to do, which was to point out clear and obvious errors. And when you're sat waiting for the 7 minutes and then there's like 11 minutes added on time where the game will end up being decided in that added time anyway, like, it's just, what's the point? Celebrating a goal that's then going to be ruled afterwards. Like, I feel like unless they've got it correct 100% of the time, which is never going to happen, it takes too long as well. There's just so many things about it, and like the fact that they've like trialed it and they're like, oh, it works and this and the other, and you're like, yeah, it's entirely dependent on what the other person thinks. And we've already seen like the leaks of when they've made the wrong decision, and then they're like, oh no, but we've already said it now, and all that kind of stuff. It's just like,
every other week we get some kind of apology for some farcical decision or some wrong decision or some like subjective call that could go either way, that the referee made one way and VAR made the other. And it's just, I'm just sick of it. Just bin the whole lot off and be done with it. You want to have video assistant referees, then put them to use for non-subjective decisions, right? If you need to check whose throw-in it is or whether it's a goal kick or a corner, have a quick check on the camera. Bish, bash, bosh. Job done.
Well, yeah, but then on top of
anything other than that, bin it off.
It's like even over this weekend, right? So the weekend that's just been, we've had controversy. So there was the like Wrexham having a goal ruled out in the FA Cup, and we're like, this is weird. We obviously, there were goals ruled out. I don't know if it necessarily, I don't think it went to VAR. The second goal was disallowed, right? I think the flag was really up in our game. But then you've also got like that Bundesliga game. I don't know if you heard, Greg, where the ref ran over to check the monitor. Somebody,
I did see this.
Masked man had just like unplugged it. So again, they just had to kind of go with what they did. And to be honest, like if the decision was always going to be a penalty anyway, what's the point of sending them to the monitor?
I only saw it in the context of one person sharing it with the line, "The game's so back."
That's my point. Like that's what opinion is, right? And like I understand that like fan opinion shouldn't necessarily rule everything. It's like it's one of those things where if you're trying to make this an entertainment sport and you're taking like almost, if you've got like a 10-minute decision, which isn't, we really haven't, it hasn't been that extreme, but like we're getting to that point with some decisions, right? We're talking about big chunks of the game, and then we discussed it the other day where like you've got people going down in the dark arts of football and how frustrating it is because it changes the pace of the game, the momentum, the energy levels. And like I think that's what it is. Like, and it does that for everyone in the stadium. They're just, it's just so, it just doesn't seem like it's been hugely. And again, like there have been decisions that have gone our way, and there have been decisions that haven't gone our way without it in the championship, right? Thinking that the handball against us, that was frustrating. But at the same
Yeah.
time, like, would I have preferred to one week have a decision go our way and the next week have one not go our way without the intervention of VAR? Yes. Does that still happen with VAR anyway? Also, yeah.
100%.
What is the point?
I think we actively said that at the time as well, even with the frustration of it going against us and the loss it caused. Still, rather that than deal with it, because it's, and to be clear, it's not the technology's fault. It's the people that use it, right. The ability to show video replays it works fine, yeah. But the problem is that these people that we actively and openly criticize week in, week out for having awful performances as referees are not getting better with that guidance or with that assistance. You're just getting more bad decision makers into the mix, right? And it's just putting them in a position where it's like the blind leading the blind sometimes. It really feels like. And yeah, I'm glad that we stood up and spoke out against it, because I feel like it would ruin the EFL at all levels.
They're already doing lots of that anyway with other decisions that I'm sure we're going to get onto, just with governance in football in general. But it's just so. It's like who genuinely thinks that it's been like a good contributing factor, right? Like who is so happy with the way that it works? Who thinks that? And then they're having to like tweak stupid things because it's like, again, like, oh, it's meant to be used in a clear and obvious error, and they're like, well, this guy's like hairline was like a millimeter offside, so I guess we need to roll that goal as offside.
It was last week in the Prem, right? It was someone's nose
before. But it's my point.
Literally their nose.
It's not clear and obvious, is it? That's exactly how clear and obvious works. If you want to have it automatic every single time, just not have semi-automated. You just have automatic, and then you just get rid of linos and you have technology replace them. And like, it's just you're killing what is the spirit of the game, right? That's what I think is the biggest problem for me, is that it's not helping. And is it something they realistically need help with? And it's been for years. Like you're talking about going back to Charlie Austin's infamous interview, right? Saying, "Oh, we need it, we need it, we need it." And like, look how much we got punished for it last season. Like, I think back to that Wolves game, mate, where it's like, well, Adam Armstrong might have impeded it if he'd got the ball, so we had to rule it off. And you're like, sorry? So now we're bringing hypotheticals into decision making. It's ridiculous.
It's just the grey areas, isn't it? You're introducing it into areas which are potentially, subjective or grey, or this might happen, and it just leads to, because you're giving the time and the space for them to, think about it and put their points forward on this, the expectation is that the outcome is the right one. And the fact of the matter is that in these sort of subjective and edge cases, I don't think you'll ever please all of the people with whatever decision you make with that sort of due process. And that's what I mean. You need to just do away with that. And you're right, like automated offside, it's either offside or it isn't. Goal line technology, fine. Like I say, you want to work out whether it's who's throwing or whose goal kick or corner it is. Great. That's exactly the sort of thing it needs to be used for, and isn't used for, even the technology is available, which is daft. And leave the rest down to the referee, put it in the hands of the referee. And if the referee is awful and has a bad game, then that's a different discussion entirely, right? The standard of refereeing and the quality is, a topic that we've discussed to death on the show. And
I'm sure it'll come up again.
Inevitably. But I would still rather have a rubbish referee who's in control of the game than subject yourself to the absolute farce that is VAR in its current state. Because, like I say, you put that decision there and give them the time to make it, and there's no right answer for a lot of this stuff. Things happen so quickly, At least if the referee makes the decision in the first 5 seconds and gives it one way or the other, like, fine, it is what it is. The referee either got it wrong or he didn't. And whether you agree with that or you don't, it doesn't matter, right? You don't have the scrutiny and the playback and the opportunity to go and change it. And then, well, sure, the referee gave it, but then VAR should have turned it over. It's just needless. And you're right. The celebrating a goal that then gets chalked off, horrible. Or not, and it takes away the joy of celebrating it when it does go in, because immediately you're thinking, "Oh, was he though?" And it's just,
that's the thing. Even if something's eventually like ruled offside or whatever, it's quicker because all of a sudden the flag's gone up, and then right. There's no appealing that decision at that point. But yeah, it's the
you always train yourself, right? Like whenever anyone scores in any game, whether I'm playing or watching, when a goal goes in, the first place my eyes dart to is the lino, right? Is the flag up? No flag, great, happy days. And that's it. That's the instance of the check before you get excited or you don't. And that's it. You don't then have to sit and wait for the decision to be made while no one in the stadium gets told what's going on or shown anything anyway. And then, the decision feels wrong or was right or whatever, but it doesn't match the feel in the stadium. And then 4.5 minutes later, you get a tweet from the referee, the PGMOL, up on the screen in St Mary's. And you're like, well, that makes me feel brilliant. Yeah, excellent. Cheers. Good job, guys. Like, it's just, yeah. No. And I'm glad that we stood up and made that point. And I fully agree with it. And, I don't want it. I don't want it in the Premier League if we go back up. I definitely don't want it in the Championship if we stay down.
Look, maybe they should.
It ruins so many moments.
We'll be focusing on, we've seen some pretty crazy scenes over the weekend, right? Old Firm Derby. You've got that match in Brazil. I know it's not exactly the EFL, but it's like there should be things that they are concentrating on more than constantly trying to, like, what feels like crowbar VAR into all competitions when they still have so many problems with it. And, like, sometimes, like, wisdom is knowing when to give up on something, not trying to continue to force it. And that it doesn't feel like that's going to be the way forward, right? Because a long time ago, somebody's clearly made a decision, and they don't want to feel like an idiot for going back on it. And yes, there might have been people who now no longer advocate for it, who advocated for it because the implementation has been wrong. And I hate that there is a culture of like, well, we can't go back to how it was because we've done it now. And it's like, but we can though. You can go back and change it. You can get rid of it if you want to. And like, again, like the difference between how enjoyable the Championship's been is that we aren't having to dissect decisions most games. And sometimes, we'll have a whinge about the referee. We did yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes referees will be not great. It's
I'd still rather that 100% of the time.
It's still still far more preferable than sort of the stuff we had to go through. Well, we ended up with like 2 apologies last year. And it was still like, it's not about to have happened if it wasn't so like ridiculous and also went to a review and that review still had it called off. Just go back to how it was, man. It was fine. Like this wasn't as big a problem as people thought it was. Like,
no. Well, listen, mate. Speaking of things that they should, or things that they're trying to fix that don't need fixing, and where maybe attention should be focused otherwise. We've not really talked about it on the show, but it was confirmed last week that as of next season, there will be a new playoff structure in the Championship with teams as far down as 8th given the opportunity to go through in the playoffs and get into the Premier League. So first and second will remain automatically promoted. Third and fourth effectively win themselves a bye into the semi-finals of the playoffs. And then fifth plays 8th, sixth plays 7th in one-off ties where the side of who finish higher in the league are at home. And then the winner of those eliminator ties progress to the semi-finals to play 2 legs against third and fourth. With the final, of course, being at Wembley.
tell from my yawning how enthralled I am by this idea.
Yeah, I mean, one of our long-standing catchphrases, mottos, mantras, whatever you want to call it on the show is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? That's something that we preach and like to live by more often than not. And what are they thinking here? Like,
I don't know. I think it's to try and create more drama. It's to sell more tickets. It's to put more. I would prefer what they've done in the J League, mate, which is when a game goes to a draw, it goes to a penalty shootout, and whoever wins the penalty shootout gets an extra point, and then you don't have draws. Like, but do you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna change things up, like you need to introduce something more interesting than just now we've just added the amount of teams.
Added two more matches.
Great.
We've added two more matches.
Added more matches to an already congested fixture set list. And it's like, but it gives the opportunity for someone who's like an 8th to go up. And it's like, well, clearly what you're doing here is you're targeting all of these like Hollywood-bought teams. So that
but I'm not being funny, mate. We went up in 4th the year before last and got the second lowest points in Premier League history.
Yeah, so this was going to be my
So, I mean, look at the table now. Who is currently sat in 8th? I don't have that information off the top of my head. We're 7th, so it'd be just below us. So that is us. We're in 8th. All right. Do you know what?
So maybe I'll change my mind. Right? So look at Derby, okay? So say it's Derby, and say they go up, and I think that it raises further questions around the issues you've got with going up to the Premier League and a massive jump in revenue, and then it not working out because of the gulf in differences between the teams. And I will say, there is an outlier this year. That outlier is Sunderland. Leeds look like they're staying because of the fact that Wolves, West Ham, Spurs, everybody else is in free fall. But like for every 1 year you get a Sunderland that stays up, like Brentford or Forest, you have about 3 or 4 years where most of the teams that go up go straight back down. And when they go back down, unless they go straight back up again in this weird yo-yo cycle like we are, you can end up having catastrophic economic consequences. One of those, you're looking at Luton right now, struggling League One under Jack Wilshere, whereas they were in the Premier League and, had Ross Barkley paying for them at one point. And it's just so bizarre and can be so damaging to like the clubs, the local area. And it's like, but you had your little opportunity to go up. And that's kind of how it feels. It's sort of like letting the sort of mid-table clubs, you get your opportunity. And if you take that opportunity, you can have a lot more money for 1 year or so. And maybe that's genuinely how I feel, I guess, about promotion entirely, right? Because
but that's the crazy thing that's the craziest part of it to me, is that, we're at a point we've got 10, most teams have 10 games left in the season, right? So 30 points available. Based off of that, anywhere down to, 16th place QPR currently in the league are only 10 points away from playoffs. We've talked before about how, realistically speaking, that's one, 3-game week away from turning it around and pushing like up into a spot. Like, is that not dramatic enough? Like, how many more places do you need?
It's also really unsettling for teams because you'll have owners that will start to fire and rehire and get rid of teams that you should be pushing for playoffs. You missed out by 2 points. We're going to get rid of you because you finished 9th instead of 8th. We already have enough of that anyway. And the fact that the Championship is mainly a revolving door of the same 20 managers anyway, apart from apparently us, we don't like to do that.
Yeah,
is a problem in itself. I just don't really see why. Is it to make it more exciting? Like, what is the given stated objective of it? To make better TV, probably. To increase the TV revenue.
2 more games that they can sell to a TV station to pick up and build the hype.
That's what it's going to be. It's going to be the EFL's growing here. We can put these big ticket items at the top of the schedule for these days. It'll be really great. It'll be really exciting. I don't think they really care. Like, it's like it feels really disingenuous when we went up and they had all of the the market hoardings being like, we stepped up and all that stuff. I'm like, you don't. What you care about is the fact that we've spent a vast
Yeah.
fortune in Wembley Stadium, and I know it's really, really cynical to be like that. And some people will probably see it as a fantastic opportunity for lower teams to go up to the Premier League. And you're right, that's exciting. And what will happen is that it will be like Luton, where it was like, it was nice they were up here for a little bit, wasn't it? They got to have a look around, got to go to some big boy stadiums, and then it's like, and then they'll get financially ruined by it. And man,
you're right. And there are just if you're going to make wholesale changes to like promotion and relegation points anywhere in the pyramid, I just don't think this is the place that is the weirdest place, right? I mean, you look at getting out of the National League into League Two as the example, where they have one automatic place and 4 teams that play for playoffs for the second promotion. That's crazy. Like, why aren't we making an effort to change that and make that more viable rather than it feels so strange.
Because again, it's all about maximising the money at the top. It's not about the actual football. And this is the thing. It's all about saying, there's this new kid on the block. And again, for every couple of teams that do what we did, which is just go up, struggle massively, go straight back down, you'll get a team like Sunderland that will do well. And then what will probably happen is they'll do well. They'll get all of their players nicked from sort of other bigger clubs, and then they'll go back down in the future. Like, hey ho, like us also. And you start to maybe question the actual structure of both of the leagues in its own. But in my opinion, strange decision, adding more games to an already congested calendar. I don't think it needs it, considering how tight it is at the top anyway. I think if you haven't managed to do it in that amount of games and get into that top 6, then, that's on you. And that means if we miss out by a point and we're 7th, that's because we missed out by a point and we're 7th. I don't understand what the appeal is, but as we pointed out, it isn't for us. It isn't for fans. It is for TV stations to make more money. It is for the EFL to make more money.
They make decisions for fans. I mean, I don't know. We didn't really talk about it when it came out last week either, but I don't know if you saw that next year they've changed the international breaks as well, right? And so they're doing a combined international break system, which actually means no football over the Easter weekend for the first time since I think in the article I was reading it said it's the first time in non-wartime that a game won't be played over Easter weekend since 1889, which is, great. Cheers, guys, for an international break. Everyone loves them, don't they?
Would have actually had time off to go and actually watch it.
Why would you put days that are convenient to travel for and that people
are actually off and people are actually able to do stuff? No, you've got to suck the lifeblood out of more people to pay for ridiculous amounts of money. Like I don't go to as many games as I probably would like to, or as many games as I think some people's opinions are that I should do for someone that runs a podcast. And I understand that, but again, a lot of it is due to the financial burden of it and how expensive it is, and people are like, well, you should just sort of fight through that. And it's like, yeah, but I also just feel like they don't want us there anyway. Like it's not, everything is just about commodifying fans as much as possible. So what I should go to kind of counteract the people who'll be watching it on TV anyway. Like the issue is that how do you convince people that there's more money in the matchday experience than not, when their answer to everything mainly is just to give you smaller portions of things at significantly higher prices and go, well, where else are you going to go? And it's just it's just frustrating, man.
Completely get thrown under the bus at every possibility by moving fixtures to ridiculous times of day or night, moving them to a midweek and making an 8 o'clock kickoff.
I'd really like to
moving Saturday 3 o'clock games to a Friday night. Like, it's just no.
But that in itself is frustrating. I would really like to compare the benefits you had at your first season to the benefits you'll end up having potentially next season, and see like how much they've stripped back in the last. It's not just our club; it's other clubs as well, and it's not just it's more of an indictment in general that
Yeah.
it is becoming unaffordable for most people.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what, mate? I'll take that piece of homework away, and maybe we'll have that discussion one day next week and go through. Because I don't know if you saw from the fan advisory board last week that from next season they're thinking of replacing discounts entirely from the season ticket package and then replacing it with some kind of store credits. So what that looks like, who knows? But I mean, it feels like benefit of the doubt until it's truly released, but it feels like another opportunity for them to feel like they're stitching us up. Right? It doesn't feel positive it doesn't feel like a positive vibe.
I'm sure it will come down in price to reflect that, though, Greg. Right? This is
Yeah,
this is
sure.
yeah. This is my. It's not even a moral objection. It's a financial objection. I would really struggle to justify the season ticket with just the state of my current finances and the fact that every year they seem to just be kind of screw over people as much as possible. And
it becomes harder and harder to justify every year. But
again,
that's it.
I'd like to be more realistic than the idea that like you don't have to necessarily be able to go to every game and afford it to be a real fan or whatever your idea of a quote unquote real fan is. Because I think there's quite a few people that have differing opinions, but I think that just in general, like these changes in the league to bring it back to what we actually talked about before I massively derailed it. It's like this isn't really for the experience, for the fan experience. This isn't to make our lives better or to make it more exciting at the top. This is to increase revenue.
Yeah,
that's how I see it. If I'm wrong and people think that I've completely misconstrued it,
I don't see any other way of doing it. And obviously, people will come back and say like, "Oh, but the clubs voted for it." I'm like, "Well, yeah."
The club owners who have money who will want to increase their revenue stream.
That's going to give them more of an opportunity to potentially go up to where the money's bigger in the Premier League, right? Like I don't remember who it was, but I saw someone say earlier, like if they gave it to club votes an opportunity that all the way down to 17th would go into like one big elimination bracket knockout to get to the Premier League, clubs are probably voting in because it gives them more of an opportunity. it's I don't know, strange one for me. I feel like the interests would have been better served looking elsewhere and fixing other problems, but hey ho, here we are. It's potentially
there, mate. If you think they want to fix problems,
that's where we are. That's potentially what we'll have to contend with next season if we don't get promoted this year. So I guess we'll see. I guess in no time it'll just become the new norm, and then until they change it again. But look, that's it. That's all we've got time for today. So thank you everyone for listening, and thank you, Zach, as always, for joining me.
I mean, to get so riled up, mate. Sorry.
It's why we love it. It's why we do it. Let us know in the socials, in the comments, your thoughts on VAR and on this new championship structure. Look, I'm willing to open it up to the level and hear your unfiltered opinions because, as you can tell, ours are right there with you. So yeah, let us know in all of its unfiltered glory how you feel and what you would do to change or fix or get rid of VAR. We are Daily Saints Pod absolutely everywhere. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, YouTube, everywhere. And while you're there, why not give us a like, a subscribe? It goes a long way to helping us out. We will be back tomorrow with our preview of our midweek game against West Brom. But until then, everyone, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you then.
This is the Daily Saints Pod with Zach and Greg.